Good afternoon, everybody. It is 2:45 on a Wednesday. It's going to be a quick video. Just going to go through some plays, some things that I'm in, and what I'm watching in the market. Obviously, there's been news. The news always continues. So let's jump into it. Let's get into it. Let's be precise as we can be. First thing we're going to touch on is the NASDAQ. So it's been chop-suey for the better part of the last, couple months. We had, I mentioned this last week. I was waiting for a follow-through day to really become bullish, extra bullish. And unfortunately, yesterday was a decent day, which was Tuesday. But apologies, Monday was not a very good day. And we've really been in this trade range for the better part of the last 2 weeks. Today, though, as you can see, having what looks to be a promising day. We don't know volume just yet, but we have our eye on volume. We want to get above these moving averages. And for the record, to become uber bullish and start to deploy capital in a much more aggressive manner, you need an all-time high. You want to buy strength. You want to lead the market. You want to be a front runner. You don't want to try to buy something that's going down and hoping it's going to pop up because it's sold off. That's not the way it goes. So with that said, we have our eye on that today. I'll give you the backdrop of the market today. The NASDAQ is up a little bit over a point. Every index is pretty much having a pretty good productive day. I would not say that this is short covering. I think it is a productive day, and I'm happy about that. I mean, it looks like we're getting the production that we're looking for. Let's jump into Bitcoin. Bitcoin having a little bit of a rally today. The question is this our bottom here yesterday? I did see some economists and people were screaming that is the bottom and that's capitulation. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. If I've learned anything with Bitcoin, though, anything is possible. Downward sloping, moving averages slightly above the 20. I don't really think there's much to write home about. But anyways, just pointing it out. More importantly, gold, which has been something I've been passionate about the last couple of weeks since we had this big pullback. Looks like it's still doing good. I'm going to show you some plays I got into. I still think that we will take out this all-time high, and I'm pretty convinced 6,000 an ounce is now imminent. I called 5,000 an ounce, by the way, back here. We got 5,000 an ounce. I think we're going to get 6,000 an ounce. All right. So we got that. Now let's jump into stocks. By the way, the news... the news is the news. I'm not going to touch on it because there's nothing like breathtaking right now in the market. We had the State of the Union last night. I do think some of the things that were said in State of the Union might help some of the energy names. That's really the only takeaway. I did watch it. I didn't really see anything specifically that I would take away that could have a large impact. The tariff talk is the tariff talk. I've said it for some time. I didn't really think that's going to have much to do with anything. I thought, if anything, the Supreme Court ruling against the tariffs would probably be beneficial in the short term because the market would forward run thinking the fact that now the government has to refund these corporations, which I don't think is going to happen anyways. But either way, that's just the news that took place in that regard. I don't really think it's anything to worry about. Okay, all right, let's start on the stocks that I pointed out last week. Let's talk about the ones that I'm trading this week. I sold Glow Corning. This was a great trade. I laid this out a couple of weeks ago. This is getting a little extended. I don't have this today. I sold this yesterday. Missed this move. It just goes to show you what you think is already extended is not that extended. I would anticipate a pullback to the 5, and that might give you an entry point. This was the ledge. The ledge was so obvious. I mentioned this last week when I got in, and it was doing exactly this little ledge, and then just shot off here, and now look at these follow-throughs. I would not be surprised to see this one go a little bit higher. I do think 200 is probably happening in the next 2 months. You could see UBS graded them. There's a lot going behind this company, and this, by the way, is the maker of the Gorilla Glass thing. All right, moving along. I got into UUU yesterday, and I'm actually considering selling it already. So I pointed this out on a video. This was a deep cup. We wanted a handle, and we wanted the handle to bounce off of the 50 and get above the high. No, sorry, where was it? It was the high here, so it was above that. So it made higher lows. I bought it yesterday, which was an up day. I bought it in the beginning of the day. I did get 5 or 6%. Today it's up 2.6. So here's the thing with this. I really, really like this name. I like Uranium. I think Uranium is going to thrive. The problem with this is they report earnings tomorrow. here is my take on this with the fact that uranium has been doing great the last year, with everything from aluminum, uranium, silver, all the different things from precious metals to commodities. I think they're going to have a good quarter. The thing is, I don't know if I want to hold this into it. I might play calls. So I'm up now maybe 7 or 8%, maybe a little bit more, maybe 9%. I might sell this. I have a decision to make at the end of the day, and I might buy some calls. And I think that's a possibility for me. So hopefully you see this video before the market comes or ends today, which is in about an hour and 10 minutes. AAON, I got stopped at. This is a nothing burger. I don't even know why I'm pointing this out. I was in it. I just pointing it out. I sold it yesterday. No profit, no loss. It was just boring. It wasn't doing anything for me. I thought it had this cup, this handle, and I thought it was going to make a ledge and go. I do have it on my watch list. If it gets above this trigger point of 104, I'll buy it back, but I'm not buying it back until it gets above there. Okay. MU, I purchased yesterday again on another trade, Micron. So let me talk a little bit about this for 1 second. I think this is really going to take off. I think this is a $500 stock. I did buy this. I put an 8% stop loss when I bought it yesterday. Fortunately, I'm up 4 or 5% on this purchase from yesterday. So this is a memory stock, very much correlated with SanDisk, which has been the talk of the town. SanDisk had a short report yesterday that came out. I don't remember by who. And it pushed it down. It really didn't do much damage. These short reports usually do a lot more damage. It didn't. I don't own SanDisk anymore. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I traded this a couple times. I hit it on earnings. I did well. I am inclined to buy SanDisk again today. The thing is, I have MU, and I don't know if I want 2 memory names, but this is not for financial advice, but rather educational purposes. If you don't own one, it is for myself, I would want to own one of them. If you want a little bit less volatility, MU is going to be a little bit easier emotionally to take. And if you really have a little bit more of a riskier side and you want some action, SanDisk looks damn good. All right, moving along. Okay. Oh, I bought RDW again. I got stopped out of this a couple weeks ago, and I took a bath on this thing. I think I lost like 10 or 12%. I had a huge 12% on this. I got back into it yesterday. They have earnings today. Small position. They have earnings after the bell, so I'm playing this on earnings. We'll see how that goes. So I bought a small position. Again, not financial advice, but just, take it for what it's worth. Let's see what else. Still holding American Eagle. Retail has held up really well during this period of time. However, this chart does not look phenomenal. Oof, I actually have to check this chart here. This doesn't look great, but it has converging averages. I would not advise to buying that, just pointing out that I own that. I'm still green on that. Oh, one on the short side I'm getting hurt by is Rigetti. I'm now probably down quite a bit on this. I'm probably down 15, 20%. It's calls, not a huge position. I've traded this, as you guys have been following me, I've traded this like 3 or 4 times. The downside done well. This does look like it's making a bottom. I'm not convinced it's making a bottom, but yeah, I don't know. I might add to my puts here, actually. I think this is a $5 stock. I think it's extremely overvalued. The question is, do my puts have enough time? They're 6 months out. They have earnings coming up, and I just don't think they're going to do good. Yeah, I might add to that. The puts, sorry, on the put side. Oh, I closed out my short on PLTW. Was it either Monday or Tuesday? Was it Tuesday? I don't know. One of the days. I closed it out. I don't know if I caught the bottom when I closed it out, but it is up today. Thank God I closed that out. It's up 6%. This is one that I'm going to watch very closely. I might short this again. I did really good on the first short. I might short this. So the thing is a word of advice with shorts, and this was a traditional short, you got to be fast. You got to be quick. Like, you have a day, like I think it was yesterday. I want to say it was yesterday. It was down, and, I think I'm almost certain it was yesterday that I closed the position. I mean, it was down like 8, 9%. You got to close that, and you got to wait till it pops up. You got some short covering, and then take it again down. So keep your eye on that one on the short side. Okay. I think that's all right. Let me also point out, here's one that I have on my list that I'm probably going to buy before the end of the day is Aero Electronics. This is also making a really nice pattern here. I like it above. I'd like it above today's high if I had to pick. Was 159, but I think I'm going to buy a small position to get started on this today anyways, though. I really like this chart. Oh, I sold Vertiv. I'm out of Vertiv. That was a really good trade. little bit of a slow grinder, but I caught this trade down here and I made it up here and it worked out. So I made a couple shekels on that one. Here's an idea for you. And I don't know if you're going to want to do it. This is one that I bought on the upside. So the dividend STY, as I mentioned, is a call covering on MSTR. It's up 7% today. If you're looking to hedge Bitcoin and you think that this pop today in Bitcoin, which is up 7%, it's 8%, this is a way to hedge that you could short this. Furthermore, I want to tell you that one of the ways to really win at this stock is shorting it before their dividend release. Their dividend release just happened, but the stock, I wish I could zone out for you, but every time during dividend release, the stock goes down like 2 to 5%. So if you're shorting with some volume, you're using some serious cash, you could catch a quick 2 to 5% move in a day trade. And I don't want to say it's a guarantee because nothing's guaranteed, but it's pretty guaranteed. I take that back. I can't say that. It's not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. All right, so there's that. I think that's it. MU is having a really nice move right now, bouncing up. Interesting. So I gave you what I'm in, what I'm not in. Play the market that we've given. My eyes, I'm very reserved right now. I'm not as invested. I do have and I'll point it out before I go. Above here, this high is where I become incredibly bullish. Hands down. That is when I put my foot on the gas and I go green. Till then, I'm still going to be in yellow, and I'm in yellow right now. I am still in GLD and GLDI as gold names. I got back into GLD and GLDI, which I actually got my dividend today on that. GLDI, this is another good one if you like slow moving conservative dividend. I think GLDI pays out. I want to say GLDI pays out roughly about 18% annualized. And all that is GLD, the gold ETF. It's the call covering ETF. Okay. That's it. I don't really have anything else for the week. I might be back on Friday. You never know. All right, guys. Have a good one.